Good morning, traders. Welcome to the weekly preview. My name is Dan Hodgman, as always, sitting down with the one and only Mark Meadows. Mark?
How's it going, Dan?
Good. How was your weekend?
It was nice.
Got away?
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brining some chicken.
Yep. Doing some cooking and enjoying life. So.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, last week, Mark and I kind of took some time. We sat down and we talked about summer trading, thoughts around that. And well, now it's June. It's June 3rd. Yeah. Summer is here. Unless you're in Chicago, I don't know what we're going to call this right now. It's 50 and rainy one day, 75 or 80 and sunny the next. This morning looked like rain was coming, but now it's sunny.
I think we call that Chicago.
And we're wearing sweaters in the office.
Yeah, it's cold.
So not really sure what to say, but I think technically it is summer. And so with summer, things kind of slow down sometimes. Things get a little bit quieter. And recently I've seen some people talking in the community just about loneliness with trading. And when I say community, that is our Facebook community. If you're not a member, make sure you go check it out. topsteptrader.com/Facebook. That is a plug, and check it out.
Yeah. Dan, the first thing I want to ask, though, as we set this conversation up, do you consider loneliness and boredom the same thing? Are they one and the same, or are they related but separate? How do you think about it?
That's a great question. I don't think they're one and the same, but there is that relation. Yeah. I think boredom is just, hey, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kick my feet back and relax, and you're not really concerned. As soon as loneliness kind of sets in, you're looking for something. You're trying to find something to change up your thought, change up that momentum, make you think a little bit differently about your trading. Yeah. And I think that's what leads into poor decision making.
Yeah, so to me, I think that's absolutely right. I think the reason we want to talk about how do we combat loneliness is because loneliness can then transition into boredom, which then transitions into over trading, making bad decisions, throwing your pen, just all sorts of different stuff.
I used to smash the mouse.
Yeah.
I used to have to keep a couple extra mice in the drawer. No longer is that the case. Fortunately, I get to sit next to John Hoagland all day and maintain some conversation. I don't get too lonely listening to him. Right. So I think we do have a list of bunch of different things we're going to talk about, and so I think diving in, obviously, you can be lonely in a room full of people, as John says. Yeah. Especially on the floor. If you weren't doing so well, you were slam packed. There was a lot of people around you, but if you weren't doing well,
John, that is deep right there.
Very deep. It's true. On the floor, if you had a bad day and you couldn't find your way out of a position, or you're struggling, you've got all these people around you, but the last thing you want to do is talk about you screwing up or doing something poorly, and so you're just kind of lost sitting there.
Well, and loneliness feels like isolation, right? Like if I'm the one on the wrong side of this market's moving hard. Why am I out here sticking my neck?
Absolutely.
So I get it.
Absolutely. Well, so there's a couple of different ways that Mark and I are going to kind of discuss how to just combat that loneliness. If you feel things set in, make sure you are trying something new, trying something different to make sure you're not making those poor decisions, because when you do get bored, you're looking for things to happen, and that's not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, and I think these revolve around that. And also, we have to keep trading fun. We're passionate about it. We love doing it every day. And we have to keep it fun and fresh. And so to do that, you have to feel like you're not lonely.
Absolutely.
You're connected to traders all around.
For sure. And so the first thing I wrote down was a little plug that I already mentioned once, but our Facebook community. It's a great place to go create some conversation, engage with other traders, meet people that are trading similar to you, which is really helpful. If you have someone that looks at the market similar to the way you look at the market, it gives you an outlet to reach out to someone and just say, hey. I think that you have to be able to do that and finding those environments for that.
Well, and what I love too is inside of that Facebook community, again, topsteptrader.com/Facebook, a bunch of different members have created their own chat rooms. So if you go to the left-hand side of things, there's a couple chats in there that you can even enter if you're looking more for that live back and forth feel, as opposed to the, hey, I'm going to post this and then see comments roll in over the next hour, 2 hours, etc.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ways to engage in there, and just having that kind of helps that first step of isolation.
Yeah, for sure.
The next one I have is kind of creating a design distraction. It's always different. Everyone's totally different. One person may be playing music in the background just to keep their distraction. For me, I love, one of my things has always been is Candy Crush. That's a total go-to.
Yeah.
If you are in a trade, you don't want to mess with it. I kind of can get lost into just playing a game on my phone or something like that. My girlfriend gives me a hard time for it all the time. Maybe it's putting on Netflix, playing, binge watching a show, and you just keep an eye on the markets. When your level comes into play, you can find your opportunity, set some working orders, and step away and watch something else.
Or even I would throw into that, and maybe this is a completely separate thing, but Twitter has a great financial
Absolutely.
trading community, and there are a lot of people who I watch and sort of respect in terms of how they think, listen to their podcast, etc. Like Keith McCullough is one that comes to mind for me, and he actually interacts with people on Twitter. Like it or not, sometimes he'll tell you you're an idiot, but
We need that sometimes.
You can strike up those kinds of friendship seems too strong of a word.
Relationship.
But a relationship with people on a platform like Twitter as well, because you can search those, hashtags, see who's trading, ES_F.
Right.
If you're an S&P trader, and what they're saying, and then interact with them. And so that's another way I would throw out there.
Absolutely, I think that ties in with the first two for sure.
Yeah.
It's just finding ways to engage with people.
Yeah.
Another one that I was thinking about that is another way of engaging with someone is we have performance coaching here at Top Step Trader. You can sign up for the personal performance coaching, or you can do the weekly complimentary class that Hogue does every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. If you haven't heard of it, go to our website, go to the performance coaching section, and check out what we have there. John does classes every single morning for sometimes long, minimum an hour. Sometimes he's talking for 3 straight hours. But he's got a chat room in there. He's talking with people all day to help educate.
And also, if you're one of the, I don't know how many we have now, 160, I don't know, whatever funded traders that we have, there's a specific funded trader chat room too. So if you're watching and you are trading in a funded account, you have that option as well. So we're trying to connect traders all around the globe as well here through those means.
Absolutely. The next one I thought about was learning something new. John has a story. He talks about a guy that was working with him, and he created a design distraction for himself, taught himself to play guitar just by watching YouTube videos. Things like that. Teach yourself something different, because you got to remember, most trading is slow. It takes a while. You're not active for 12 straight hours or 4 straight hours. You're not doing something the entire time. I used to joke down on the floor, you could make your week or your month salary in a 45-minute span. And that 45 minutes, it's go, 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 go.
And it can happen at any time. So you have to be there.
You have to be sitting there. It's something my dad always told me. He goes, it's very easy on a Wednesday afternoon, if it's 85 and sunny, to get out and go play golf or something. But if you stay until the bell closes, you can ensure you don't miss anything. And so you have to kind of sit there. And so finding something to engage yourself as you're waiting for those opportunities is so important.
And I think that's where, on the floor at least, all those pranks came into play, right? Like those were ways to, sort of get through the lull, to stay connected, to not be lonely, to not be bored. So I don't know.
We played a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Played a lot of cards. We had games that we were playing all the time. Some betting on certain things that were kind of stupid a lot of times, but there was a lot of distraction, and you got to find a way to do that at home. If you're sitting by yourself behind a computer in a cold little dark room, it's tough. So you got to find ways to just distract yourself a little bit. And before we get to the last one here, what do you guys do for anyone watching? What are some ways that you kind of combat your loneliness? That's, you know, everyone is totally different. If you found something that works, drop it in our chat. We've got them up here. Matthew, good to see you. Glad to see the TST trader community's helped a lot. It's important.
Sorry about any static.
I do apologize about that.
I don't know if it's Dan or me, but
my bad.
we'll
I'll take a quick look at it after the show here. And then the last one I have is get out, get away from the screens, go for a walk, go to a coffee shop. If they've got good internet, trade in the coffee shop, but get away from that the standard environment you're always sitting in. Go for that walk. I think, especially as summer's here, it's nice out. Get outside, enjoy a little vitamin D.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those things where, like, coming from, you know, the East Coast, Washington, D.C., Delaware, etc., where I've lived in the past, and moving to the Midwest, I would never talk to people just out in a public setting. But now, after being here for 7-8 years, it's so natural. So I love that tip. If you're, you know, somewhere in a nice city where, you know, strangers will talk to you over, you know, just if you're having a beer at the bar next to them or a coffee or whatever. Good idea.
Absolutely, it's so important. You gotta get away from it. You can't, especially if you have had a rough morning. Let's say you're not at a point where you're ready to stop, but you gotta step away. Something I've always said was set an alarm and go make a sandwich. Go like down to the street. Literally just wrap your building, wrap your house. We'll go for that little bit of walk. Get away from, kind of forget what just happened so that you can come in with that fresh set of eyes.
And you can do that too and this isn't what we're talking about, but if you're in a bad position, if you do that same thing, chances are when you walk around the block, you're gonna say, I need to get out now.
Right, you're gonna you have a different view of it. Your bias has kind of relaxed a little bit. You're not so emotionally attached to that because you've relaxed just slightly.
Yeah, love it.
Well, that's what we got for you. Thanks for tuning in. As always, questions, comments, feedback, share these videos. Let us know what you're thinking. If there's certain things you want to hear us talk about, let us know. We're always open to doing everything we can to help you guys as traders.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, Mark, thanks for sitting down, and I will see you guys this afternoon at 2 p.m. with Hogue for the market recap. Trade well, everybody. We'll see you in the market.